Hey, welcome back, everybody. It's time once again for another episode of Meet Our Community, the Hispanic business community here in Orange County. Powered by the Orange County Hispanic Chamber of Commerce and Orange County's only community radio station, OC Talk Radio, streaming live from our studios here at the University of California, Irvine's Beal Applied Innovation Center. With the man himself, the man who knows everybody, John Gutierrez. Welcome,
Thank you,
sir.
Paul. Thank you, Paul. Thank you to our community listening to us today. Happy holidays to everybody. Welcome to our community podcast show powered by the Orange County Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. I'm your host, Senior Vice President here at the Orange County Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. We have another great guest today, another community leader with us today, Mr. Eddie Quillares Jr. He is a State Farm agent, a past senior advisor of our OC Hispanic Youth Chamber. He is the creator of DTSA, which is Downtown Santa Ana Feel Good Events, which is the Downtown Santa Ana Tamal Festival and Pozolada that we will talk about. We all love tamales. We all love pozole. Welcome, Mr. Eddie Quillares.
Welcome, John. Thank you for having me here today. Appreciate it.
All right, let's just make sure the mic's good,
Let's
good
get
for
him
you.
closer to there.
All right.
Okay,
He's
good.
a little shy, Paul. You
He
know,
is shy.
Eddie's a little shy.
I'm not a talker.
Everybody that knows Eddie knows that he's not shy. Eddie, there's so much we're going to cover today. I hope our listeners hang in there with us because we're going to go through a lot of good stuff that you do in the community. Like I said, you are a community leader. You've helped so much our youth chamber. You've been involved with our chamber for many years. And you've got some great stuff you're doing in the community now. But first and foremost, we want our audience to get to know you, Mr. Eddie Quillares. Tell us a little bit about you, where you grew up, where you were born, and we'll go into how you got into what you're doing today.
Perfect. I'll try to summarize everything with a couple of minutes. I know you told me to keep it aligned and keep it straight. So
We got to keep you straight.
yeah,
here, yes.
yeah. Hey, well, good. Hey, my name's Eddie Quillares Jr. I'm a State Farm agent for about 12 years now. So a little bit about me in the beginning. So born and raised, in the city of Linwood, Southgate. For several years, some of the best years of my life, youth, especially great memories.
Okay.
Right. Growing up, I was very fortunate. My mom at the time had like a little sewing company in the garage, converted it from 2 to 3. And then within a 2-year span, she converted to about 50 employees. So 50 machines. So she was doing extremely well.
Wow.
Then my dad at that was working for Hughes. And he was doing extremely well as well, part of the leadership team for Hughes.
So you had two very successful parents.
Exactly.
Great mentors.
Great mentors in the beginning, right? And then also I have an older sister who's Jasmine. She's a 4-year difference in me.
We know Jasmine well.
Yeah, Jasmine, and she's really been the catalyst.
Another great community leader.
Yeah.
We got to have her on the show.
Yeah. She's also right now the current co-president or past president of the National Hispanic Women's Business Association.
Yes, they're actually going to be part of our event tomorrow. They're always involved with our annual toy drive that we do. And
They are
so,
heavily
so
involved.
Thank you to them for
Heavily
always supporting
involved
that.
with So from there on, I got a full ride to go to St. John Bosco High School. So I went to St. John Bosco.
Wait, you mean that little high school that just won state champions? Is that what it was?
Yeah, state championship.
Division
in
One,
football.
right?
Yeah, Division One.
Wow.
Well, I tell people I was a captain of the football team, and then the track team, and then other events, baseball team. But the thing is, I always tell people that that it's not the sports what it is now today, right? Before all CIF, in football, all these other sports, but it's not to what it is now. The same fabric.
But
so.
you and I were talking about that on your way in here because Ruben Franco, by the way, our president said, make sure you ask him about when he played at Bosco. And for my, I think his family member was your coach.
Yeah.
Kiki?
So Kiki Mendoza not only is my client, which is very fortunate, but
Okay.
he's also not only my coach, he's also but also my mentor. So if you look back at some of the people that have changed my life, Kiki Mendoza has been one of those individuals where you got to remember. So some of the things that you probably are picturing an amazing story where, hey, Eddie had his parents, right? Successful. Yeah. But I didn't share with you that my dad left us when I was 8, right? My dad. So everything started falling apart. My mom had to sell her company.
Sorry to hear
she
that.
no longer had that.
Wow.
But hey, at the end of the day, people say, oh no, but I don't think I'd be in the point in my life if those impactful things happened to me, right? So I'm very
Made you stronger.
made me stronger and kind of head of the household and made us a real close-knit family between my mom, my sister, and myself. So now moving fast forward, while I was in high school, St. John Bosco, a lot of people really, to where I'm at in life, were it took a village to be where I'm at today. Mentored me, coached me, developed me.
This is Kiki.
This is Kiki and other people like himself.
Yes.
My offensive line coach, Kiki Mendoza.
What do you think football does? Because I know my son plays football, know my wife's probably listening.
Yeah.
I, as a former football player, as you know this, don't you feel like it instills great, not only leadership, competition? What would you say? Because at Bosco,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty sure these coaches are teaching you these things, right?
Well, we were undefeated for the full season, so we had a really competitive high school football team, and we'd play against the best, especially amongst the Mater Deis and the Loyolas. But honestly, some of the things it showed me a lot of leadership intangibles in high school. Some of those were like strong work ethic, right? Where you're in practice, spring practice, you're in there seeing the rest of your peers just going home at 3 and entering school at 8:30, and you're like, you're there from 5 in the morning lifting weights, and you have spring practice till like 7 or 8. So it really developed that.
And the team concept, right?
It did the teamwork. So strong work ethic, teamwork. It also created also lead by example, things that really you take for advantage of, in the beginning. But I think with those high school sports, they teach you that, especially a strong program, especially being a single parent, coming from a single parent family, that really helped out a lot.
But you were an All-American lineman, which says you had to really compete for that position.
Yeah.
Right. You had to stand your ground. That also helps you later in business and in life, right? How to compete for the business.
It does. It taught me a lot. It taught me perseverance, a lot of perseverance, and a lot of kind of going at it and repeat it necessarily until it becomes a habit kind of mentality.
Yeah.
So that's what sports taught me a lot, and then it encouraged me to really keep doing things until I'm successful.
So shout out to all the coaches, mentoring, right? Your coaches, obviously, out of high school. What happened to Eddie Quillares? Where were you heading after Bosco?
After Bosco, I was very fortunate to get a full ride to go to UCLA. So I went to UCLA immediately after. I was a political science major with a minor in education.
Go Bruins?
Yeah, go Bruins. Applied developmental psychology and a minor in business administration. So I was there for 4 years. Graduated, great scores, great GPA. And then
UCLA is not easy to get into.
No, it was extremely
you
difficult.
must have done a good job in high school.
Yeah.
Good GPA, right? To be able to get into UCLA.
And again, going back, not only was it coaches, but it was also teachers and administration that really helped me a lot. Saw this kid, this little mocoso, if you will, right? And said, hey, you know what? You're giving it your all. We're going to help you out. And that's why I think I'm very blessed to go into UCLA.
What was UCLA like?
UCLA, so people always tell me, like, I don't need a higher education. Like, I'm good with my high school degree. Hey, everyone has their own kind of like gifts and blessings and stuff. But I think I really do feel that I think high school teaches you a lot about yourself, builds your character, builds a lot of these leadership and like your leadership intangibles, if you will. And I think college is like a giant playground for you to perfect those leadership intangibles, right? Like public speaking, how to talk to people, just everything overall, how to talk to adults, how to talk to different nationalities, different personalities. That's the most important part. So although people are like, I don't know if higher education is for me, it's kind of great because it's not you're looking at it from a book perspective. It is from like an outside perspective, like building yourself, right?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day,
personal growth,
you're going to
right?
be 100% devoted to your schooling, right? Which is important, but you're going to devote 110% to yourself. So that's about going above and beyond, like getting that extra job, going out of your comfort zone, like working for that camp, for that alumni camp in the summers, right? Going out of your comfort zone, and that's what truly builds you. So UCLA is important, but I think that going that extra step, working 110% on yourself, is more important.
So you're finishing up in UCLA.
Mm-hmm.
What happens to Eddie after that?
Well, after that, I mean, I was involved at UCLA, so luckily I was like, in charge of all intramural sports at UCLA. I had
So you're deep into the whole.
yeah. I was.
Were you in a fraternity?
Yeah. I was a fraternity. Dude, I was actually director of membership for all fraternities at UCLA at one time. Right?
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I was Delta Sigma Phi. I was involved with not only intramural sports but also alumni camp called Burn Woods, and I went all the way to the top. I was one of the top 3 directors at the camp. And that was pretty cool.
You always like strive to be the best.
I don't know if it just comes.
Is that the Bosco mentality?
I think it is the Bosco mentality, and I think just put your head down and work hard and that's all you can do.
But you also said at a young age, when your father left, you had to step into that role,
Yeah.
right, to be kind of like the man of the house.
Well,
so that might have also like, hey, I need to be a leader.
Also, I'm talking about mentorships and all these leaderships and coaches and everything. But also, I give that same attribute to my mom. The reason why I am who I am, it's because of my mom. The reason why Jasmine, my sister, is the way she is, it's because of my mom. My mom is the person, my everything, my motivation every day. That is it right there. And she's the same one that also saw me struggle sometimes at UCLA and was the first one there for me. So then after UCLA, I was involved.
Shout out to all the moms.
Yeah, all the moms. I didn't know what to do next, so I became a nanny for 6 months. a nanny for 6 months up in Lake Tahoe. And one of the families at Bruin Woods kind of said, Eddie, do you have any plans afterwards? We're going to the Amazon. You can come over and take care of our kids. And I was like, sweet, right? So I went after college. I took 2 weeks off and I went straight to Lake Tahoe. But I'm talking about, this guy's John Mason. He's the attorney for like NSYNC, Shakira, Reba McEntire, like all the big groups and stuff. So his house, you know, it's on Zephyr Cove. It's on the Nevada side.
It's like you're on vacation.
Dude, it is. It's my first time I've ever driven.
And you're getting paid.
It's the first time I've ever been inside a Mercedes. First time I've ever been inside a Range Rover, right?
Yeah.
So it was a cool experience overall, right?
What a great story.
Yeah, and I'm like, I was having dinner with like Shakira and like NSYNC and stuff next to me. I met Justin Timberlake, having a full on just meal, like a casual meal, you know?
So cool.
So, anyways, I was there for 6 months. I decided to come back. I'm like, I need a job. So I decided.
That was almost like an internship, if you think about it.
It was. You know
right?
what? Some of the things I learned how to really speak to professionals at that point. And like, it doesn't matter if you're white, Latino, Indian, Asian, like it doesn't matter what it is. It's like we all come from the same fabric. And that's kind of like where I really perfected my networking skills and my ability to communicate with people.
Well, how did you then transition into the world today of Eddie Quillares, State Farm? Where did that happen?
Well, you got to give it up to my first job. So I looked for a job for like literally 2 weeks, and boom, I nailed it. I got a job as a management trainee for Enterprise Rent-A-Car. And Enterprise Rent-A-Car, by far, back when I started, was the grain of everything. Everyone wanted to hire someone from Enterprise Rent-A-Car because we were literally beast. They converted us into monsters in terms of now. I converted.
So you learned a lot of your sales skills there?
Not only skills, networking skills, because you're doing like, you know, on a normal sales job, you do like maybe two transactions a week.
Yeah.
Here we're doing like 15, 25 transactions a day. So you're really perfecting and really honing into your sales skills, your networking skills, your marketing skills. So you're really perfecting your management skills because you're managing a team of 15, 55 people. So I was moving up the ladder and really going with the golden boy, if you will, of Enterprise. So I learned a lot through it as well. Very blessed. And they taught me, that's where they created the beast, like Eddie Q, like boom, like overall professional.
Beast.
So after that,
is that your nickname? Are we going to call you now the Beast?
No. What I meant by that, the monster, because it wasn't just myself. It wasn't like I read books or anything like that. It was a group and an experience where I am today.
Yeah.
So after that, I decided, you know, State Farm knocked on my door, said, how'd you like to be a State Farm agent? I was like, I don't know. Then I saw the writings on the walls with all the businesses going bankrupt, all the car manufacturers, everything in 2009, 10. So then I said, hey, this might be a good thing. So I say, hey, we'll match your pay and we'll give you a little buffer. And I'm like, cool, let's move forward. So that's when I started the process of becoming a State Farm agent. But it was a little tricky because my process was a little longer than usual. My process took about, it normally takes about 9 months because I was young. At that point, I think I was like 27 when I started the process. So they were scared. They were like, we're going to invest a lot, like $250,000, $300,000 in you. This has to make sense for both of us. So after stringent interviews, like I'm talking about, I was in a room with like 10 individuals just shooting questions at me, you know, for State Farm. Yeah, it was intense.
So they have to pick you.
Yeah. So you're chosen. So rather than 9 months, I finished the interview process in 3. And I got hired by State Farm Insurance.
Again, that's the competitive in you. I mean, let's be real.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah.
Right? You wanted to come on top. Yeah. You wanted to win it, right? Because you're there fighting to win it.
Exactly.
So when you finally get this, how do you feel? Like, I'm going to open my own agency. I'm excited. Are you nervous?
A lot of mixed emotions. I mean, I'm nervous, but yet knowing that, you know, when I got nervous is when I was bleeding too much State Farm. When I said, okay, cool, this is the way agents manage their book of business, I was getting nervous because I was losing myself. I was losing all the great things from Enterprise, UCLA, Bosco. I was starting to lose those because I was like, maybe that's not going to make me successful as a State Farm agent. But once I started recuperating, I said, no, that's 90% of who I am. I'm only going to take 10% of what State Farm's showing me and move forward. And that's when I regained the confidence and the ability. I'm like, I'm going to do fine.
That's awesome. And you've had your State Farm now how many years?
So I'm entering my 12th year now.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I made the first year I made past it. I had a giant one party of one for myself, and then entering year 5 was probably the hardest year of my career.
Well, they say a business after 5 years has made it, right?
Yeah,
I think it's like
after
the rule
5
of thumb.
years. That's why the 5th year was very, very, very difficult because our comp changed, and also I was going through some stuff personally that really affected me a lot during that time period. But once I passed that 2015-16 year, I did extremely well. I started doing, I started believing in some things and really appreciating this opportunity more than ever.
What was those things?
It's some things, and I think a lot of people, one of the things I think it's important as a
Share
business owner.
share the secret,
Well,
the secret sauce.
I think one of the things as a business owner is like, you don't have anyone to fall back on. Like, I'm not going to talk to my employees if something's wrong or if I feel like not 100%, because you don't talk and you don't talk to your peers either, because you don't want people, or your colleagues, you don't want people to think you're weak, right?
Yeah.
And your higher ups and stuff, because you don't want them to think you're not proper or you're not ready for that opportunity. So the hardest part of being a business owner is that you keep a lot of things inside of you, and it's very difficult for you to share how you're feeling. And I think that was one of the things that really was hurtful in those years, because you couldn't share with anyone. It was
Open up, express it.
really. And that's the hardest
This is
part.
great you're sharing this, Eddie. This is important, because not everybody wants to admit that, right?
Yeah, we're vulnerable, right? It's kind of like I tell my high school students, right? Why do Latinos fail? There's two reasons. One is because you don't like to show your vulnerability. You rather fail at something rather than ask for help. And number two is that you don't give yourselves enough credit. It's the same thing going fast forward to where I was going in that period of my life. It's like I didn't want to show, or because you build yourself and you're up. People have this idea of you, right? And you can't really expose that or share that, because you don't want anyone to think you're lower than that observation they have of you. So I think that's the hardest part about being a business owner. And I think it's important for you to share and reach out to people when you're having those rough days or that rough quarter or that rough year, to share with someone and ask for help, or just a simple ear to listen to.
That's great you share that, because I know, as you know, a lot of what we do here at the Orange County Hispanic Chamber of Commerce is we do a lot of mentorship with our youth chamber. And you were one of those lead directors. Share with us how you got involved with our chamber and how you got involved with our youth chamber, if you don't mind sharing that with us.
Yeah. Well, first and foremost, I couldn't do it myself. I had a great other advisors that would help me out, from Tony Torres to Elizabeth. I mean, I had a lot of great people that really helped me out big time. It wasn't just me, but luckily someone had to kind of create the agendas and the itineraries of sorts. But yeah, so thinking about where I'm at today, I know that I'm at today because it took a village. So I take that same mentality into the youth chamber. I noticed that they need help, they need assistance, because they're kind of out there. So I try to, behind the scenes, help out to some extent. Then I noticed in 2013, I'm like, two thoughts of mine. One, I'm still young. I can make a better impact now than if I wait like everyone else when they're retired or in their 50s and try to use that cliche. Like, I remember when I was in your chair, right? I knew that I wasn't going to be as impactful that if I could be now, because I could show them what I had just gone through, right? I had just finished UCLA 5 years earlier. I had just finished my first position. I had transitioned to my hopefully my career, which is State Farm, right? So I know I can make an impact now. So that's why I jumped into the role as a senior advisor, because I would have a great impact now rather than wait until I'm retired or until I got things handled 5 years after, 10 years after.
You keep in touch with a lot of these kids.
I do. I just went to a wedding. Yeah, I just went to a wedding for Elizabeth, an amazing wedding in Michoacan.
Nice.
Yeah.
What is that like to see some of your mentees getting married? That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it is. It makes me feel older, but it is pretty cool that I get to see that and I get to experience it now.
Feels good, right?
It feels good. And you know what? One of the things I do regret is my biggest mentor was my offensive coach line, which is Kiki Mendoza. And that guy, not Kiki Mendoza, that's not Kiki Mendoza, it was Morales, Coach Morales. One of my biggest regrets in life, and I know I can fix it now, but is not going out to him right now and thanking him in person. That's my biggest regret. Is like, because of you, I am the person I really am.
He's no longer around.
No, he's still alive.
Okay.
He coaches he's an athletic director now at St. Paul.
Okay.
But I don't know why I haven't gone out there. It feels in my eyes, it feels like I'm not ready to see him yet, because I'm not the full person that I want him to meet yet. Which is weird, right? Like people say, like, I want to be like, maybe picture me somewhere, like I want to follow his steps or whatever. And for me, I feel like it's not enough yet. Well,
I'll share with you. One of my mentors passed away actually this last week, and I'm going to his funeral on Friday. Don, he was a mentor of mine, and I spoke to him last week on Tuesday, and I was scheduled to go see him on Friday. Some things came up. There was a lot going on. I couldn't make it. Following week comes up on Monday or Tuesday, I get a call that he had passed. Yeah. And so, to your point, don't wait, right? Because you never know. They could be here and gone tomorrow, right? Yeah. And so I think you should go see him, man.
But
right?
that's why I go to the same
You've
mentality.
done great for yourself, man.
Thank you.
I mean, there's a whole army of people that can vouch for you and say, Eddie's doing great things in the community.
But then you go back into like our community, right? I just hope, like, I took a big leap thinking like I think my look still mocoso at 25, 26, entering State Farm 27, and thinking that I had enough confidence and enough in my pocket to make an impact as a senior advisor. I just feel a lot of people, a lot of our youngins, right? What I mean by youngins is our young professionals after they graduate from college. Hopefully they don't feel not enough per se, because they don't drive the fancy car, or they don't own the home yet, or they don't have that job title yet. Like, it doesn't matter because of that. It's simply, you can just go out there, give an hour of your time, teach them the things that you did right, or even the things that you did wrong that they can learn from, and go above that, and show them that. And I think a lot of Latinos and just young professionals are hesitant to do that because, again, they're so wrapped up with social media or whatever they think is considered
Go see your coach. Go see him. He would be very proud to see where you're at, brother.
Yeah.
I mean, invite him to the Tamal Fest, which
I
is
will.
what we're going to talk about, right? Share with us this downtown Santa Ana feel-good nonprofit, right?
Yeah.
That you've put together. Where did it come from? And share with us about this big event coming up this Friday, which is your this Saturday, which is your third annual, right?
Yeah,
so
correct.
this Saturday, share with us about the event, please.
So one of the great things about this event, and it again, it's organic, right? It wasn't like, hey, how can I have an event to get State Farm, Eddie Q, State Farm on the stage or whatever. It was really simply because I've been very fortunate to insure a lot of restaurants.
You work
and
with a lot of them.
in downtown Santa Ana.
That's great.
And I went to lunch with one of them back in 2019, like right the week before Thanksgiving, and Chivitas, if you will. Yeah. And I went to Chivitas and she goes, Mijo, I'm doing really bad. Like, I don't know if I'm going to be here longer because I can't afford the rent. And I thought to myself, I was walking away and I went to my office. What can I do to help her? Right? I can easily teach her, give her a fish, give her a couple $100. Here's for the rent, whatever. But what can I do for her to feel empowered? Right? And other businesses that are probably hurting. So I set up the Tamal Festival. I said, what could I do to do that? So I got the blessing from Rosalina Davis, who does the Placentia Tamal Festival.
Yes.
I asked her, she goes,
Shout out
Mijo,
to Tlaquepaque.
she gave me the blessing. I said, thank you very much. At the end of the day, also, that earlier that week or that month, I also went to lunch with a group of us and Don Miguel, the owner of Northgate.
Yes.
So that coupled with my lunch with Chivitas, and then my conversation with Don Miguel, one of the things I asked him was, it was a straight question. I go, I'll be honest with you. Like, if I need milk or I need to go buy like napkins or toilet paper, like, I'm not going to go to Northgate, right? Like, my parents will, their parents will, and people that came here from Mexico first. What's your plan now for the next 10 years when that generation is gone, right? Like, or is no longer there. And now us, only like almost 42% of all Latinos only speak Spanish now. Like, these stats are disheartening, right?
Yeah.
So what's your plan, Don Miguel, like, to attract us to come to your store, or are you going to slowly close your stores down? And he said two things. One, I'm going to keep opening the stores, but I'm going to upgrade them, right? Make them really nice and fancy. I'm like, yeah, he's been doing that for the last couple of them he purchased and he opened. And the second thing is, he said, I want to make Northgate to remind you of, if your parents perish, remind you of them, or your grandmother, that feeling.
What a great point.
So he's like, that's our goal. That's what we want. So it get bling, bling, bling. It made complete sense to have a Tamal Festival. And I said, because one, I'm not only helping our community with our small businesses, para renta, but secondly, I'm also helping carry our culture. Because you got to remember, tamales is tamales, but this culture of the people that are the 12 restaurants that are involved right now with the tamales, there's only like maybe 4 or 5 of them that keep existing past 6 years. So it's very little years that I have to really work with that la señorita or la abuelita, right? To help me make those tamales and really go out there and make over 25,000 tamales.
But what you're really doing is you're bringing people together.
Correct.
And Paul's giving me the stinky eye already, like, you got 2 minutes left. Hurry up.
Yeah.
But Paul,
I'll give you 3.
give me 3 because I'm going to bring you some
I'll
tamales
give
next
you 3
week, Paul.
if you bring me some tamales.
Some tamales, right?
That's how I'm encouraging people.
I went to it last year and it was pouring. Unfortunately, it was an ugly day, but everybody was still there. People were eating, and not only tamales, but I think they were also serving like champurrado. They're serving all the whatever, hot chocolate, whatever people are selling. It's a beautiful event, downtown Santa Ana. So it's on Saturday. What time does it kick off?
Okay, so it's on Saturday, this Saturday, between 3 and 10 p.m. on 4th Street, between the corner of Broadway and Ross Street. So if you think of downtown Santa Ana,
The Federal Building, right?
Federal Building and Starbucks.
Okay.
So that's where it starts.
Perfect.
With the Starbucks ends on Ross Street.
Okay.
But we'll have great tamaleros. And they're all local. They're all downtown Santa Ana restaurants. You'll have Chevitas, you have El Indio, you have
Tamales.
Perla, you have all these other restaurants, Saborcito, all these other Chevitas that are making the
Café
tamales.
Cultura's right there in the
Ta
corner.
Compadre, yeah.
Yeah.
Café Cultura is right there. They're making
Yeah.
their own blends and doing coffee and opening that day too.
Yeah.
So all these people are participating, right?
It helps all the businesses.
It is. So we have 12 tamale
awesome.
vendors because we had to grow it because it gets so crowded.
How many?
12 tamal vendors.
Wow.
So we're making about 25,000 tamales.
25,000 tamales. Do you
Yeah.
hear that, Paul?
And do you just go up and down the street?
Yeah.
Or do you go from restaurant to restaurant?
No,
Or there's
no,
stalls
it's
They're in the
all
or
streets,
booths.
something?
right?
It's
They're in the
all
street.
booths.
Yeah.
All amazing vendors are going to be there as well. Also, one cool thing about it is we have live entertainment. So at 3
right.
p.m. our event starts with DJ Ali Rock and host Daisy, Cafecito con Daisy, and also DJ Greg. But then at 4:30 the entertainment starts with Mariachi Divas. Right?
Oh, Mariachi Divas.
Mariachi Diva
Nice.
starts. Then followed by there, it goes immediately to 5:15. Martha, who's an amazing Mon Lafarte Selena cover band. I think she sings better than Mon Lafarte. You're gonna stab me for that, guys. I'm sorry, but she is brilliant. Then at 6 o'clock, it goes straight into Café Tacuba cover band, Chilanga Banda,
Nice.
and then at 7:30 we start with the banda right there, and then at 8:30 we start with La Sonora Dinamita. We finish it off.
Nice.
So all these great bands are going to be there. Imagine a 20 by 20 stage right in front of you, eating a tamal, drinking a beer because it's open. It's
Yeah.
open.
Champurrada.
Oh, but you can be drinking on the street too. It's a
Oh,
street festival.
okay, nice.
Yeah. So it's open, provided by Mission Bar. So we're
Nice.
good there. So it's going to be a great event overall. We're expecting thousands of people, but more than anything else is keeping our culture alive.
Yes.
It's being able to go there
And come
do it-
support these businesses.
and come support these
right?
businesses because my cry is always para la renta
Yeah.
and keep our culture alive.
Yes.
Those are both my big slogans and stuff. So
Eddie, I told you the show goes by so fast. Thank you so much for being here. Obviously, downtown Santa Ana Tamale Festival, and you will be having a pozolada, right? Down the way, so stay tuned for that.
yeah, pozolada in
Pozole,
October,
of course.
pozole, and then also summer vibras, which is kind of like ricos antojitos. So I'll pick some of the 2 or 3 of the best dishes from each neighboring restaurant in downtown Santa Ana to provide you with
And when
their
does he
best
bring them
dishes.
here? That's all we want to know.
We'll
When
bring
do
it.
we
Look,
get-
we'll bring him back on the show, and he's got to bring food next time. That's a
But
requirement.
now check out our Instagram. We have some great stuff. It's called DTSA, which is for Downtown Santa Ana.
Okay.
Feel Good Events. DTSA Feel Good Events. In the next couple of days, you'll be getting more information on the event itself, the layout, the time of the entertainment. But we already have some cool videos that capture the whole event from last year and previous years. You don't want to miss it.
There you have it, go folks. We have Eddie Quillares here, Jr. With State Farm Agency, of course, which he owns. Definitely support his State Farm Agency. Also, he's a great agent, does so much in the community. He's a past senior advisor of the Orange County Hispanic Chamber of Commerce Youth Chamber. Thank you so much for everything you're doing in the community, Eddie. Thank you for being on the show. And I know Qatar was a lot of fun. I saw your photos and videos.
Yeah, Qatar was amazing. Great
He
experience.
went all the way to Qatar to
This
watch
guy,
it.
to watch
man.
some soccer.
He was,
to watch some
he
soccer.
was over there in the camels and
The
everything.
camels and everything. It was a great experience of a lifetime. I recommend it to everyone. Especially the best experience of my life was probably walking to the stadium when we played Mexico against Argentina. That was probably one of the greatest moments of my life. Just
Really?
capturing the audience,
energy.
capturing the energy.
Quick
the
prediction.
fans.
Is it, I don't know who's, I know Morocco is playing today.
I think France is up
I
right
think it's
now.
up. France
So
is
it's going
up
to probably be
1-0.
France and Argentina, right?
Argentina, yeah. And
Yeah.
and at that point, because of Mbappe talking smack about Argentina and Latino soccer, I'm gonna probably go with Argentina. Although they
I'm
beat
going
my-
with Argentina because of
Yeah.
Messi. I hope he, Messi
I hope he pulls one out.
pulls
you know?
one out at the end of his career,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So go Argentina and Messi. Eddie, thanks for being here.
Well, thank you.
And
Thank you
thank
very
you
much.
for all you do in the community, brother. And we wish you all the best. And we'll see you Saturday. And also everybody listening, please tune in to our show every Wednesday. And of course, follow us at OCHCC, the Orange County Hispanic Chamber of Commerce social media. And of course, we have our annual toy drive tomorrow at 701 Restaurant. So we hope to see you all there from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. Have a blessed day. Eddie, have a good one, brother.
Thank you so much. All right. Awesome.
Wow. Well, there you have it. That doesn't give you a hunger to come back and hear more. I don't know what would. as we meet our community each and every Wednesday here on Orange County's only community radio station, OC Talk Radio. Streaming live from our studios here at the University of California, Irvine's Beale Applied Innovation Center. Powered, of course, by the Hispanic business community, represented by the Orange County Hispanic Chamber of Commerce.